Here's the one licensed chapter that I'm glad will never come to Dead by Daylight. This has been quite a highly requested collab for many years, but this series has one of the most disturbing controversies surrounding it. Before we get into the video, I'm Lydia and I make Dead by Daylight videos like these as often as I can, and I also stream this and other horror games over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/EarthToLydia. If you want to come by a stream sometime, it'd be great to have you, but for now, let's get into the video. Every now and then, when someone asks what licenses the player base wants to see in Dead by Daylight, you can guarantee that one particular license will be thrown out there: Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers is an early 2000s horror movie in which, as is often the case in horror movies, a bunch of teenagers go on a road trip for spring break, yada yada, urban legends, yada yada, scary monster starts killing them. The main monster in the Jeepers Creepers universe is the Creeper, which is something that will become very ironic shortly. The Creeper rises once every 23 years for 23 days to feast on human body parts, which then get incorporated into its own body. The Creeper tracks down its victims by essentially smelling out their fear and can fly to hunt them down. Admittedly, this would be a pretty good fit for the Dead by Daylight universe, but there's a big problem surrounding this series. Such a big problem, in fact, that one of the community managers at Behavior has stated that this is not a license they're looking into. Admittedly, they haven't said that this will never be on the cards, but there's good reason why it shouldn't be. So what actually happened? The director and screenwriter for Jeepers Creepers is self-proclaimed protege of Francis Ford Coppola, Victor Ronald Salva. Coppola actually saw so much potential in Salva as a young filmmaker that he gave him access to cameras to record his latest project, Clown House. It was during the taping of Clown House that Salva committed disgusting and heinous acts with a 12-year-old starring in the movie. And of course, being a film director, he even recorded some of these acts. Obviously, I can't really go into detail about what happened in the case here on YouTube. All I can say is that if you're going to look into this yourself, I would seriously recommend exercising caution. The themes involved are extremely serious and they're really difficult to stomach. Salva was convicted and imprisoned for these crimes in 1988 and released in 1992. This is so important to note because he didn't even go on to make Jeepers Creepers until 2001, meaning the whole time consumers were blindly supporting a convicted criminal. So much that the film got a sequel 2 years later, and then as recently as 2017, only 7 years ago, Salva made Jeepers Creepers 3. This man hit the peak of his fame and fortune after serving his sentence for some of the worst crimes imaginable. Now, when Salva's been asked about this, he has made some comments saying that it was just a stupid mistake he made when he was younger and that it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. No. When he was sent away, he was 30 years of age. That is my age. Not to mention, in Jeepers Creepers 3, Salva also apparently wrote into one of the characters' backstories about them being a survivor of things that are incredibly similar to what he was convicted for. Unbelievably poor taste. Salva hasn't been as involved with the franchise since the last sequel. Having said that, Myriad Pictures have worked very closely with Salva on Jeepers Creepers ever since its conception and have actively supported him even with the knowledge of his criminal past. Myriad have spent the last several years embroiled in a legal battle with Infinity Films for their unauthorized production of a fourth Jeepers Creepers movie, which tells us that even if Salva won't fight to defend this franchise in court, they will. This one ultimately comes down to a question of morals. Even if Salva didn't directly profit from a collaboration with Dead by Daylight, a company that has stood by and fought to support him and his career will. So this is where I open up the floor and ask you guys the burning question: would you still want Jeepers Creepers to come to Dead by Daylight if it meant that your money was potentially lining the pockets of the original creators? Personally, I wouldn't touch it. Yes, I think the Creeper's a cool character. Yes, I think he'd be great in the fog and probably fun to play, but I don't want my money tainted by those kinds of hands. That is going to be all for today's video. If you like this video and want to watch another about some licenses I don't think will ever come to Dead by Daylight, click this video right here. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate if you'd leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos like these. I'll catch you in the next video.